What up? What up? What up, you guys? It's Blackwing 2040. This video is a little, bit delayed, a long time coming, and I apologize for that. But welcome back to the Disney movie marathon, and it's time to talk about the second film in Walt Disney Animation Studios collection, Pinocchio, released in 1940. Now, I had to watch this film twice just so I can get a better understanding of things. I mean, the first time watching it felt good, but actually rewatching it again, it just hit me like this. And also, this funny thing, I don't really have that much history with this movie because I didn't really watch it that much at all. Like, I never owned it. I wasn't, Pinocchio was a Disney movie just wasn't really, fully interested in. I mean, everybody knows the song When You Wish Upon a Star. Everybody knows Pinocchio. Everybody knows Jiminy Cricket. But I just never really wasn't fully interested into this movie until I actually watched it twice. And this has got to be one of Disney's darkest, and I mean darkest films ever made. Granted, this was made back in 1940. This was a different time back then, but watching it now, and of course, this film is getting a live action adaptation. There's some things in this movie that is not gonna fly in modern time. None of this stuff that happens in this movie is not going to fly today at all. But anyway, I've done enough talking. Let's get down to the movie. So I like how this movie opens up on a small village because, if honestly, I could say with the animation in this movie, it definitely expands a lot. Comparing it to Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, you get to see more in this film. You get to see an actual village. You get to see actual people. You get to see more animals. You get to see aquatic sea life, something we didn't really see in Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. We just got stuck with, forest animals. But here, we actually get to see other environments. And that was very interesting to see. You get to see multiple elements like the rainstorm. You get to see the elements of the chase scene between Pinocchio and Monstro the whale during the climax of the film. That was excellent. The animation really kind of stepped up a lot more in this film. So another thing I feel like this film doesn't just solely focus on Pinocchio, just on him. Yes, it's in his name is in the title, but this film, honestly, it's a buddy film. Now that I think about it, the film focuses more on Pinocchio and Jiminy Cricket because Pinocchio, Geppetto's wish is for Pinocchio to become a real boy, and the Blue Fairy shows up. She allows him to come to life. Jiminy Cricket offers to be Pinocchio's conscience, and his, main, not wish, but goal to actually get a badge to actually say that says, hey, I'm an official conscience. So Pinocchio and Jiminy have, goals in mind for themselves that they want to accomplish. So Pinocchio's goal, he just wants to be a real boy, and the Blue Fairy tells him that he must be brave, truthful, and just, make sure Jiminy is the one that's guiding him to teach him from right and wrong. So when you look at Pinocchio, he really is just oblivious to the world around him. He's just a boy. Pretty much he's a puppet. He was a puppet at first who gets turned into a lifelike boy. He's just oblivious to the world around him. He doesn't know the difference between right and wrong. And that's the purpose of what Jiminy Cricket needs to be around him for. So he could, lead him on the way. And this kind of goes into the next segment where I'm going to talk about the film's antagonist, because this film doesn't really have, villains. It's just, let's just say these are obstacles that Pinocchio comes across. You have Honest John and Gideon, who pretty much take advantage of Pinocchio by saying, oh, we can make some money off of him by selling him to this puppet performer named Stromboli. So Gideon and Honest John pretty much trick Pinocchio, saying, take the easy way and just become an actor. And when Pinocchio decides to, join up with Stromboli and becomes like a big seller for, his puppet show, Jiminy Cricket's like, maybe he doesn't need me. I guess he's good. I'm out of here. The fact that Jiminy kind of abandoned Pinocchio right there on the spot is even crazy. I mean, you made a promise to the Blue Fairy, and you're just gonna abandon him like that. But then he takes a second guess himself. You know what? Actually, I should go wish him luck. Wish him luck on his actor journey. And in the end, Pinocchio ends up being held against his will by Stromboli and just using him to make a profit. So that's the two obstacles of villains in this movie. The other obstacle or the other antagonist is the coachman. He only really appears in like 2 or 3 scenes in this movie. So the coachman's main purpose is pretty much he takes small boys who pretty much, skip school, do bad things, don't really listen to their parents or anything, and he pretty much takes them on a coach ride to a ferry to an island called Pleasure Island. Now, here's the creepy part about this. Pleasure Island is supposed to be this magical, happy place for all boys where they can do whatever they want. And I mean anything they want. Smoke, drink, act wild, play games, have fun, just be wild, young, and free. And then later on at night, the island has a crazy little curse to this. So all the time the boys are just acting bad, they end up turning into donkeys. And the coachman takes them as donkeys and sells them off for money. So here's the creepy part about this. He does 2 things with the kids that gets turned into the donkeys. One, if they can't talk, he sells them. If they do talk, he locks them up and just leaves them there on the island. This movie is nuts. This movie is freaking nuts. I don't understand what was going on. I know maybe this is probably what happened in the original tale, but what? Kidnapping? Jeez, this movie was nuts. And going into like the final act of the movie where Pinocchio and Jiminy go looking for Pinocchio's father, Geppetto, who pretty much, Geppetto has really been through so much in this movie. The fact, first of all, he spends a lot of his time in a shop making clocks, music boxes, puppets, marionettes. He's a great toy maker, or just like, a maker in general. So he brings a lot of joy to people. So the fact that the Blue Fairy was able to offer him this chance of happiness by having one of his own creations be an actual boy, and then for him to actually deal with, Pinocchio not coming home, that put a strain on him. I'm just like, geez, Geppetto, you've been through a lot. And so the final act where you have Pinocchio and Jiminy Cricket trying to find the whale Monstro, who pretty much swallowed up Geppetto whole, and he's still alive inside the belly of the beast. So Pinocchio and Geppetto found a way to escape the whale, and the animation in this sequence of just how they made a giant freaking whale like Monstro just to look so frightening. Just frightening. And in the end, Pinocchio ends up saving his father and he proves himself worthy. And of course, in the end, he becomes a real boy. And that's pretty much the film. So all of that is just freaking wild. It's just wild to me. Now, I feel like there are moments in this film I did kind of feel a little bored. Just a little bit. Just a tad bit. But trust me, this movie will make your jaw drop and make you open your eyes for a second and just like, whoa. It's just, whoa. But I do applaud this film for its animation, the evolution of how the animation has stepped up, and just the environment in general. The movie was great. And some accolades that this film was able to receive. It received 2 Oscars for Best Original Song, When You Wish Upon a Star, and Best Original Score. So the fact that there were no, nominations, or like, this film, there was no Best Animated Feature nominations for animated films yet. Those don't happen until like the early 2000s. But the fact that this movie was actually able to win 2 Oscars, that's incredible. That's incredible. And I know I forgot a few characters like Figaro and Cleo. They're basically like the background pets of this film for Geppetto. They're cute characters, but the other character I forgot to mention, Lampwick, who is the kid that Pinocchio actually sees transform into a donkey right in front of his eyes, his very eyes. The transformation scene of the donkey is just bone chilling. The whole Pleasure Island scene is just bone chilling. But if anything, I gotta give this film a 4 out of 5. If anything, 4 out of 5 to 4.5 out of 5. It's decent. I like it. It's well written, well done, and it pretty much chops up the acts perfectly. The opening act with Pinocchio, The second act with him trying to go to school and then getting kidnapped. The third act with being, Pleasure Island and everything leading up to the climax of the movie, and the movie's done. I liked everything about this film. It was great. It was really great. It flowed very well. Very well. So, in the comment section below, what did you think of Pinocchio? Did you like it? Did you dislike it? Or do you think it was in between? Let me know in the comment section below. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and click that bell to be notified. Follow me on all the things: Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitch. And as always, I am Vengeance, I am Darkness, I am Blackwing. Stay golden.